Hello viewers, welcome to Fajabi Image Consultancy's project Momon Minok. Ngarangi lecture adu aina upload tawjakibadu adugi makha taba lecture ni aina haijakibaduni ai 30 minutes ki lecture ahumda masigi sareng asi loisinjage haidana ado ngasigi lecture sidi ngarangi makha taba oina ngarangi lecture da aina playwright ki maramda William Shakespeare ki maramda parakpa matamda akhoi manipur gi su yamna afauba playwright lay haidana aina hai ki example ama pizaki example duna akhoi pabung ratan thiam asi theater of roots ki akhoi India the theater of roots ki revolution da maming leiraba akhoi Sangit Natak Academy gi award 1987 da phangiba pabung ni and he's the known person and ai nangarang ai maze playwright play ibra idabra haibase ai hana amutang yengjarake haibadu ai adugi study tawjare and he's a playwright and spontaneously lakpanina sometimes ozada akhona aina sida aina lauriba aigi ithausi ozagi ithaunina karigumba aina answer gumba question amagi answer gumba da aina panba yauragadi ai next day da adum clear tawjarake adu sumaina tawbusi ozagi mathawni hai aisu hekta loina ningsangaga loina hekta spontaneously class lawbada ngangbani aina khangdabado ai isalaga ai next day da ai soidana haizage aduni aina ngarang aina topic anini aina khatang di haiba haurammaga aina loisan khidaba amana pabung ratan thiam gi maramda ratan thiam sir gi maramda aina hairibase kariginu William Shakespeare se playwright ni mahak sereng so haidana akhoi gi lyrics sida akhoi na yauribase masigi maramda nainarakpa matamda aina akhoi gi so akhoi gi lamdam sigi oiba akhoi playwright amagi maming amagi example pibada pabung sigi mingsi yaukibani now akhoi sereng sida lakpa matamda aina masi sigi mamangi akhoi keno singse akhoi sida language ki akhoi keno singse akhoi exercise singse akhoi tawjakhre adugi matungda sereng si satra singna paba hobigani paba matamda su akhoi aruba words ki explanation makhai somna kanda right side ta lyrics ki right side ta loina piri ado sereng se aina ngarang haigi sonnet ni maningda akhoi lyrics ki maningda sonnet haibase karino haibase sizo lyrics da piri ko ado paba hudringa da sonnet haize karino haibase aina aigi oiba notes natana akhoi board of secondary education manipur gi reviewers in lyrics da piramiba notes se pabana kana gadra haina khanjai aina aduga masida irami basi akhoi pasi aina loina padraga su aina topic khara aina underline gumba tawba aina kano tawjari basi aina haizari basi satra singna soidana tawbigani haina ai thajajai aduga appreciation haibasi kona laksi ko sereng se aina sereng se sonnet ni haidi sonnet se khangba satra ju yaramgani sonnet haibasi karino haibasi adu oraga su sonnet haibase khangaga su ko khangdaba satra sing da touch tawrambasi su yamna important ni adunani aina haizari base like I have already told yesterday that I was talking about William Shakespeare. There I gave example of one of the dramatists of our state and he is none other than Oja our Sir Ratan Thiam and he's Sangit Natak Academy awardee in the year 1987. He's a known face and he's a known name in the field of theatre and he is generally associated with theatre of roots and I also talked about sonnet. So before we begin with the poem, before we begin reading the poem and appreciating it, I would like to tell it to the students the meaning of sonnet and I am not going to give you any notes or anything which is made or developed by us. I'm going to use the notes given in this book by the reviewers of these books. So let us read the meaning and let us see how a sonnet is defined in this book. Sigilarik asida sonnet si kamaina pirami haibase khoi paminasi and the poem you have read akhoi padri ko padraga su aina aigi maung da ko aina aigi creativity aigi maung se da ai sonnet se karino haibase hana ai ꯍꯥꯏꯖꯅꯤꯡꯉꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯁꯣꯅꯦꯠꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯃꯔꯝꯗ ꯍꯥꯟꯅ ꯄꯥꯁꯤ ꯀꯣ ꯁꯤꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯕꯁꯦ the word sonnet has come from the Italian word sonetto, which means a little sound or a song. Sonnets have 14 lines and have specially arranged rhyme schemes. Rhyme schemes से class 8 नत्रगा class 9 दा introduction पिरमगनी हाइना आई थाजजै ओजासिंगना rhyme schemes ko adum mingse taramgani aduga khangju khangamani class 10 tamiba satra ngatani na rhyme scheme haibase karino haibase khangamani hana ai khanjai. I believe that you would have already known the meaning of rhyme scheme as you are in 10th standard. adu oiragasu ko adu oiragasu noi khangagasu khanghaudaba angang lairagasu ai revision gi oina what is rhyme scheme haibase su ai haiphet panjaram ge I would like to mention and I would like to explain the meaning of rhyme scheme. I think nobody is going to ask you the meaning of rhyme scheme rhyme schemes in the exam, but it is always good to know it, because when you appreciate it, when you write, when you do the critical appreciation, when you write the theme and you write about the poem, if you give this technical thing, this is technical thing, this the technical features of the poems, and then you fetch marks. Haibadi angangse exam the fetch marks so oi aduga khangzinbasu kanai. So rhyme scheme se aina note se ithoaga thamni what is rhyme scheme and in layman's language ta noi masters ki angang nate noi graduation honors ki angang nate noi di actually you should know general knowledge oina laigadabani ko aduduna topa subjects myam tammi class 10 da aduduna rhyme scheme se karino hase aphet khangaga ko aduga magi layman's language ta yamna technical oina chatpagi sudaka tadi aduna ina ithoga thammi layman's language ta pattern of rhymes. It is pattern of rhymes ki mawong matau ko pattern pattern haibadi C pattern amani C pattern amani ko pattern sumba pattern magi mawong matau haibas aina khangnaba ni thokpani pattern haidi kaino anything mawong matau haiba tari ko adugi pattern of rhymes ni rhymes haibasidi aina thajabada angangjingsi yamna tara amani you would have already come across you would have come across with the term called rhymes have se karino hase koi hanna hanna ta angang ring etagi adi we were like sometimes sida aigi creativity oiba noida angang ring da I dimension ama pininge he angang se popaga khone isai sakpasida khone english se hayaning mandana angang je twinkle twinkle little star how I wonder what you are khone sai ko dumaina isai je pungsakta sakjale Humpty sits in the wall akoi adumaina tawraga rhyme sakpani adagi oza sisu khoi kindergarten oza sisu khoi haide rhyme gi oza adumaina so haine ko khoi popular culture khoi manipur da ko adumba so ai tajare adusu khangdaba yade ko ado rhymes haibadi adugumba khoina angang oringa de sakhiba isai sing do khoi rhyme ni na khangi adubu layman's ki language ta in layman's language hadi chumne icham chamba mi amagi da mi amagi mind da natraga mi amagi understanding mi amana kamaina rhyme se gyan ta haibase correspondence of sounds between words or the endings of the words hadi yamna definition se khangraga su gyan bu taradi no adum ibangam gani ko rhymes haibadi karigumba word to punna leiminaba manaba ko pattern do manaba adu example oin haira kanda hena gyan tarakani ko example dadi haira gadi ko rhyme se day may ani se kano tawi haibi yai rhyme it rhymes with each other they rhyme with each other day may a last la idana duna the correspondence of sounds correspondence haide koi khangi go word amada hadi moibani gi relationship se asine yamna explain tawradi confused at kibasu yai aduna ai smani yamna definition siga ai hairaro example da oina ai haizage illustrate tawzage day may adigi lay pay to minus labor word sing se sibu akoina rhyme kawi rhyme scheme sina saireng se tamakanda ai harake aduga karigumba suppose akogi line amada ko day amane me amane ko get amane wait amane leramagadi si anisdi manaidana ending si manabanina day and may see they rhyme with each other get and wet they rhyme with each other sida sigi vowel sigi ko sigi cluster sine aduga sigi get et ki cluster sine wet ki cluster sine mane idana ko si rhyme scheme pattern ni ai rhyme scheme gi additional ai class laujage sondaba ngang singda mateng oina bako aduso ai soidana taujage that is rhyme scheme se ai khangamani hana ai thasai khangdaba lairagasu ai gi video se da comment amuka pibira u and then I can again explain it or aduga video se amuk revisit tawbiu aduga sigi video se da gyan tadaba lairagasu soidana comment tawbira u aduga hoi akhoi hariko rhyme scheme haibati akhoi manaba word ani gi ending word ani end tawbada manaramagadi akhoi rhyme scheme do mane haini an example oina harabada aina four words pigre they may get and wait sida they ga me ga sina rhyme scheme pattern ama manare ko aduna karigumba okay rhyme schemes I deduce tawjaramagi siring se kano to siring ji parakanda ona khoi tawrasi let's not get confused that will be better aduga sida harise sum pasan be ai ko in Shakespearean sonnets ko Shakespeare na iba sonnet khudingmakta the lines are structured in three groups tako four lines each line group ahum thokna sareng sida ko four lines ki group ahum thokna amaga couplet amaga ne mana harak tawrise au hare which are called quatrains first second and third the final two lines are called a couplet ko haidi si siring se oni gianga se si appreciation se horapada ina rhyme scheme se takning ambagi agi si page 117 sida ina visit tawjabani adubu hojikti siring sida chatlaga si explanation se ai siring sida oina haizage si sonnet haibadi kaino what is the meaning of sonnet haibadi 14 lines ki siring ne hai do let's count okay 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Count of you. Okay. You know how to kanda koina anka hot pada so when we do mathematics akoi haidana khutta puba haise tumma kanda so noi Pythagoras theorem gase tumma kanda so zum haidrene kai you know you have already done it aduga sublak kase phadra so dum puri daga leiba yadrane akoi kadobagi sublak phadoino why should we you know learn the table akoi khutta puba ahansing harise if you do it you know skills se khutta la idana adumaina if you sonnet haibase noi pana taram giroi ko aduna sonnet na hairakba matamda kitang technical oiba word ama oiba matamda kauthokhiba yaidana magap tawba khatangi wakhal khanba yade gyan taraga chatpiyo aduna sonnet se kaino haibase ningsing it's a technique to remember you know if you practice things again and again it becomes your skills aduduna learning haidi akhona sumaina lairik paaba ko sumaina paraga ningsang ba haisisu kam kanda ningsang duino hanna tawragadi hena ningsang ba heli aduduna count soidana tawbiu that is one technique that I would like to share that I practice every day aduga sonnet se khona count tawjagre adugi matungda 117 da haramisi quatrains ko four lines ki group yawi hai ado let's see magi four lines ki group ko 1 2 3 4 sina group ama oire ko first quatrain sina second quatrain sina third quatrain aduga couplet haidi two lines ki word kano ani sentence ani adu so khoi ure ko poem se da duduna explain se da tawrami be explain se magap tawna bana te se gyan ta biu relate tawraga karino haibase aduga rhyme scheme haibase so I haizarake ko sareng se padringa da I'm going into the technical things first sareng jigi arth di no da takpinaba su yam leram gani aina su online da study tawjai ꯑꯗꯨꯅꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯃꯤꯕꯨ ꯍꯟꯊꯅ ꯉꯥꯡꯕ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯀꯩꯁꯨ ꯂꯩꯇꯦ ꯃꯤꯒꯤ ꯑꯇꯣꯞꯄ ꯂꯩꯔꯤꯕ ꯃꯤꯅ ꯇꯥꯛꯄꯤꯔꯤꯕ ꯈꯨꯗꯤꯡꯃꯛ ꯑꯣꯖꯥ ꯈꯨꯗꯤꯡꯃꯛ ꯂꯣꯏꯅ ꯐꯩꯁꯤꯅ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯇꯥꯛꯅꯤꯡꯕ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ ꯃꯑꯣꯡꯗꯨꯗ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯁꯥꯇ꯭ꯔꯁꯤꯡꯗ ꯀꯟꯚꯦ ꯇꯧꯖꯕꯅꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯔꯥꯏꯝ ꯁ꯭ꯀꯤꯝꯁꯦ ꯌꯦꯡꯉꯣꯀꯣ ꯁꯤꯗ ꯔꯥꯏꯝ ꯁ꯭ꯀꯤꯝ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯁꯤ ꯋꯥꯔꯗꯁꯦ ꯂꯣꯏꯔꯛꯄꯁꯤꯗ ꯔꯥꯏꯝ ꯇꯧꯔꯤꯕꯁꯦ ꯁꯤ ꯐꯣꯔ ꯂꯥꯏꯟꯁꯤꯗ ꯍꯧꯕꯗꯩ ꯄꯥꯔꯒ ꯑꯦꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯁꯤꯌꯦꯠ ꯇꯧꯅ ꯇꯧꯅ ꯄꯣꯝꯁꯦ ꯑꯦꯄ꯭ꯔꯤꯁꯤꯌꯦꯠ ꯇꯧꯅ ꯇꯧꯅ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯉꯥꯡꯉꯤꯉꯩ ꯃꯇꯝꯁꯤꯗ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯑꯩ ꯇꯦꯛꯅꯤꯀꯦꯜ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯋꯥꯔꯗꯁꯤꯡꯁꯤꯁꯨ ꯑꯩ ꯍꯥꯏꯖꯒꯦꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯑꯩ shall I compare ꯁꯩꯔꯦꯡꯁꯦ ꯄꯥꯕ ꯍꯧꯔꯦꯀꯣ shall I compare thee to a summer's day the art more lovely and more temperate rough winds do shake the darling buds of May and summer's lease had all too short a date ꯁꯨꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯝꯃꯤꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯀꯥꯟꯗꯨꯗ ꯁꯩꯔꯦꯡꯁꯤꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯁꯦ shall I compare thee suppose ꯑꯩꯁꯦ ꯁꯥꯇ꯭ꯔꯒꯤ ꯗꯥꯏꯃꯦꯟꯁꯟꯗꯅꯤ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯄꯥꯔꯤꯁꯦ I'm actually enacting as a student and I'm reading ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯥꯁꯁꯦ ꯂꯧꯕ ꯅꯠꯇꯕꯅꯤꯅ ꯊꯣꯛꯂꯛꯑꯒ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯥꯁꯁꯦ ꯂꯧꯕ ꯅꯠꯇꯕꯅꯤꯅ ꯑꯩ ꯏꯁꯥꯅ ꯅꯣꯏꯁꯦ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛꯁꯦ ꯑꯣꯟꯂꯥꯏꯟ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯥꯁꯁꯦ ꯅꯁꯥꯅ ꯄꯥꯖꯗꯣꯏꯅꯤ ꯅꯁꯥꯅ ꯄꯥꯔꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯀꯔꯝꯕ ꯋꯦꯗ ꯄꯥꯅꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯨꯅꯤꯀꯣ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯥꯁꯇ ꯆꯠꯂꯒ ꯂꯧꯕ ꯈꯣꯠꯄ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯤ ꯃꯤ ꯂꯣꯏꯅ ꯇꯧꯅꯩ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯑꯣꯏꯇꯥꯔꯒꯁꯨ ꯏꯁꯥꯅ ꯄꯥꯖꯕꯁꯨ ꯀꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯄꯥꯖꯕ ꯌꯥꯏ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯨꯒꯤ ꯇꯦꯛꯅꯤꯛꯇꯨꯁꯤꯅꯤ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯖꯔꯤꯁꯤ ꯗꯥꯏꯚꯔꯠ ꯇꯧꯕꯤꯒꯅꯨ shall I compare the shallꯁꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯝ ꯈꯪ ꯂꯩꯔꯦ I compare ꯀꯣ ꯆꯥꯡꯗꯝꯅꯕ the stuck ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯦ ꯈꯜꯂꯣ any student is stuck so you can go to this notes ꯁꯤꯗ ꯆꯠꯂꯅꯤ word notes ꯁꯤꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ poet's friend about whom this poem is written ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯃꯥꯅ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ friendꯗꯨꯅꯤ it's an old English ꯑꯗꯨꯒ William Shakespeareꯅ ꯁꯤꯖꯤꯟꯅꯔꯤꯁꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯤ ꯃꯥꯗꯣ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯁꯨ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯅ ꯅꯣꯏ ꯆꯤꯊꯤꯒꯁꯨ ꯏꯔꯝꯅꯤ ꯑꯩ ꯈꯪꯉꯤ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯥꯁ 10 ꯇꯝꯃꯁꯨ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛꯇꯤ ꯆꯤꯊꯤ ꯏꯗ꯭ꯔꯦ ꯅꯣꯏ ꯋꯥꯠꯁꯑꯞꯇ ꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯁ꯭ꯇꯦꯇꯁ ꯊꯝꯃꯤ ꯑꯩ ꯈꯪꯉꯤꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯌꯥꯗꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯁꯨ it should be hidden but ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛꯀꯥꯟꯗꯤ ꯂꯣꯠꯇ꯭ꯔꯦ but I don't have any judgment on that ꯑꯗꯨꯅꯦ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯃꯥꯖꯨ ꯀ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯦ ꯑꯗꯣ shall I compare thee to a summer's day ꯀꯣ the art more lovely and more temperate rough winds do shake the darling buds of May and summer's lease had all too short a date ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯃꯥꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯁꯦ shall I compare you to a summer's day you ꯅꯪꯁꯦ ꯃꯥꯁꯦ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯁꯝꯃꯔꯒꯤ ꯗꯦ ꯑꯃꯒ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯀꯝꯄꯦꯌꯔ ꯇꯧꯁꯦꯔꯥ ꯀꯔꯤꯒ ꯀꯝꯄꯦꯌꯔ ꯇꯧꯁꯤꯒꯦ ꯅꯣ ꯏꯠꯁ ꯑ ꯀꯝꯄꯦꯔꯤꯖꯟꯅꯤꯀꯣ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯅꯪꯁꯦ ꯀꯝꯄꯦꯌꯔꯁꯦ ꯀꯔꯤꯒ ꯇꯧꯁꯤꯅꯣ ꯑꯁ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯐꯖꯕꯁꯦ ꯃꯣꯏꯔꯥꯡꯊꯣꯏꯕꯤꯅ ꯐꯖꯕꯁꯦ ꯀꯔꯤꯒ ꯀꯝꯄꯦꯌꯔ ꯇꯧꯁꯦ ꯅꯠꯇ꯭ꯔꯒꯅ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯃꯣꯏꯔꯥꯡ ꯀꯪꯂꯩꯔꯣꯟꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯒ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯈꯝꯕꯅ ꯐꯖꯕ ꯍꯦꯟꯁꯝ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯃꯥꯒꯤꯁꯦ ꯀꯔꯤꯒ ꯀꯝꯄꯦꯌꯔ ꯇꯧꯁꯤꯒꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯒꯨꯝꯕꯅꯤꯀꯣ shall I compare thee to a summer's day thou are more lovely and more temperate summer day ꯑꯁꯤꯗ ꯑꯃꯨꯛ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯅꯤꯡꯕ ꯑꯃ ꯂꯩꯀꯣ ꯁꯝꯃꯔꯁ ꯗꯦꯁꯦ ꯁꯝꯃꯔꯁꯤꯕꯨ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯌꯥꯒꯤ ꯁꯝꯃꯔꯗꯨꯕꯨ ꯐꯖꯕ꯭ꯔꯥꯕ ꯅꯨꯡꯉꯥꯏꯕ꯭ꯔꯥꯕ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔꯗꯕꯨ ꯅꯣꯏꯕꯨ ꯁꯝꯃꯔ ꯅꯨꯡꯉꯥꯏꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯋꯤꯟꯇꯔ ꯅꯨꯡꯉꯥꯏꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯑꯣꯇꯝ ꯅꯨꯡꯉꯥꯏꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯀꯔꯤꯅ ꯅꯨꯡꯉꯥꯏ ꯅꯣꯡꯖꯨ ꯊꯥꯅ ꯅꯨꯡꯉꯥꯏꯕ꯭ꯔꯥ it's a cultural thing ꯀꯣ I expected that my teachers uh, or anybody who are teaching you should have also told you and I should also have been informed ꯍꯥꯟꯅꯗꯒꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯤꯔꯝꯃꯒꯗꯤ ꯐꯩ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯇꯝꯃꯤꯕ ꯁꯩꯔꯦꯡꯁꯤ ꯋꯤꯂꯤꯌꯝ ꯁꯦꯛꯁꯄꯤꯌꯔꯒꯤ ꯁꯩꯔꯦꯡꯅꯤ ꯋꯤꯂꯤꯌꯝ ꯁꯦꯛꯁꯄꯤꯌꯔꯅ ꯏꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔꯒꯤ ꯖꯤꯑꯣꯒ꯭ꯔꯥꯐꯤꯁꯤꯗꯤ ꯀꯟꯁꯤꯗꯔ ꯇꯧꯔꯒ ꯏꯔꯣꯏ ꯃꯥꯅ ꯀꯔꯤ ꯂꯝꯒꯤ ꯀꯟꯁꯤꯗꯔ ꯇꯧꯅꯤ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ ꯄꯣꯛꯐꯝꯗꯣ ꯃꯥ ꯏꯪꯂꯦꯟꯗꯒꯤꯅꯤꯀꯣ ꯖꯤꯑꯣꯒ꯭ꯔꯥꯐꯤꯁꯨ ꯇꯝꯃꯤ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯥꯁ 10ꯗ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯁꯩꯔꯦꯡꯁꯤ ꯄꯥꯅ ꯁꯕꯖꯦꯛ ꯈꯨꯗꯤꯡꯃꯛ ꯔꯤꯂꯦꯠ ꯇꯧꯕ ꯌꯥꯏꯀꯣ ꯖꯤꯑꯣꯒ꯭ꯔꯥꯐꯤꯁꯨ ꯑꯗꯩ ꯀꯜꯆꯔꯦꯜꯁꯨ ꯌꯥꯎꯔꯤꯀꯣ ꯁꯣꯁꯦꯜ ꯁ꯭ꯇꯗꯤꯁꯀꯤꯁꯨ ꯍꯥꯞꯆꯤꯟꯕ ꯌꯥꯈ꯭ꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯒ ꯁꯤꯗꯩꯁꯤꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯁꯦ ꯏꯪꯂꯦꯟꯒꯤꯅꯦ ꯁꯝꯃꯔꯁꯦ ꯀꯔꯝꯕ ꯁꯝꯃꯔꯅꯣ ꯏꯪꯂꯦꯟ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯕ ꯃꯐꯝꯁꯤꯗꯤ ꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯏꯪꯕ ꯃꯐꯝꯅꯤ ꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯨꯅ and it is quite cold there and if your summers are very beautiful aduduna if these people the citizens of England they like summer a lot aduga summerse yamna paame moide summerse phajai adugine moina summerse irise aduna if I really want to tell you about the techniques on writing poems also. Nang saireng aduna you would see na nang saireng iba, you would see that when somebody writes poem, saireng iba matamda William Shakespeare na summer se phajai hena na. Please, you don't write, because if you feel that it is beautiful in India, you can of course write, but mayamna khangnaba, generally khangnaraga lairaba roots lairaba poto adu sizinage hairagandadi India gi mafam di loina manade ado akhoi Manipur dadi summer se aina khanbada phajade na haigadaba male akhoi Manipur dadi summer se insang hauti na so hai ko adumaina ko summer se hujik se summer ne adum adubu sidi saireng poet sigi perspective ni poet se England da pokpani na England gi perspective da summer se yam phajare magi summer se do kwai tigi phajaraba summer day siga aina ngaujariba aina nungsiriba natraga aina thajariba igi marup natraga igi nungsiba mahak to aduga summer siga changdamna sira sine mana hairisi ko first line sida ai khar tapna laujage maramdi tapna lauragadi noida matung parakpa matamdasu khitang nungaigani ko aduna thou art more lovely and more temperate hai adubu summer gananga compare tausira tauroida because summer dagidi nangna hena lovelier and milder summer se yamna nungaite phajaraga su mangonda yamna fluctuation yamna lei mangonda ko adu summer dagidi you are more lovely and more temperate neither too hot nor too cold haibade khoi Manipur gi weather se tare ko neither too hot or not too cold rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and it's so windy, and rough winds, moina May is in moigi summer se, and it's windy and it shakes the buds of May. Class 10 gi level danina will not go into deep and will not talk like people appreciate poems in masters ki level da tawbudu maina tawrosi ko meaning du gyan ta se rough winds na me gi birds haidi maton chongkhalak liba yening chongkhalak liba ngakpi gani aigi Manipuri se yamna khidang work tawjari ko soiraga su noi if until and unless if I communicate with you, until and unless I'm communicating with you, please bear with me. Akhoi yening chongkhalak liba ko yening chongkhalak liba se sigi yening gi me gi yening se sigi rough winds sina ko shake tawi ma se disturb tawi aduga madi summer sidi madi yamna short so and summers leaves had all too short a date haibadi it does not last nearly long enough yam sangna leite summer se ko adubu nangdi sangi haibagumbane if me ama thagat ki haidadi ama thagat ladi ama du sidaradi nangi thagat pado hengat lidana adumaina mana summer gi flaws haidi athiba summers ta mana leiba complaint summers ki flaws to hairaga magi beloved ko magi friend du gi phajaba do d se friend hairam sida aduna let's address d as friend of the poet as friend. So in the first 4 lines, in the first quatrains, see when you write answer, you should write nang iba matamda in the first 4 lines of the poem han ibagi mahutadi as the reviewers have already written quatrains, and how many quatrains are there in this poem. You know that there are 3 quatrains. So you can always say that in the first quatrain, the poet addresses his friend, and he tries comparing his friend with the summer's day. Magi mamanaba magi marup yamna nungsiba marup se mana summer's day ka mana compare tauge hana khali yengui adubu then he realizes that the friend of the poet, his friend is more lovely and more temperate as summer is hostile at the mine ibis, right? It's the summer is not a very temperate at the mine ibis yaiko adumai ire rough winds do shake, and also in the summer during in the month of May, the winds do shake the darling buds ko lovely birds, pretty birds, adumaina birds haidi yaning chongkhalakli badu akogi move tawi yamna disturb tawi shake haidi mana move hana irami adubu literal meaning dagidi nangi kitang cultural meaning ko literal meaning dagidi denotation and connotation haise denotation sina denote tawriba literal meaning dadi connotation manungi oiba meaning ko connote tawriba meaning do adu ibana fai aduduna I would suggest you write disturbs kumba ko adugi meaning do leitana connote tawidana adu ibibana phagani haina aina khali aduma ire and in summers leaves had all too short a date habadi summer say does not last nearly long enough hadi sangna ju leite habagi complaint sumana tawre cultural complaint du su tawre to yam ilai na sigi word say lai sigi meaning se khatang iraga class 10 gi satra na de sigi se piramagadi ko si iramani aduduga nana technical over words say haiba yariko in the first quatrain there is a rhyme scheme and what is the rhyme scheme maning the rhyme scheme bi gibani na ko day and may day ga me ga manaridana day ga me ga ma manariko temperate ka date ka ma manare hadi 8 and 8 taidana aduna akoigi kanoda tawbudo maths ta tawbudo hadi akoigi algebra da tambado maina sida su ram scheme pattern se it's sigi denote tawna bagi dama the first rhyme scheme a sina a na denote tawraba day da yauriba a se is a alphabet sina denote tawrasi aduga temperate 8 last ki vowel gi mathang da consonant la idana sigi cluster sina b na denote tawrasi ko aduga rough winds to shake the darling buds of May mukla idana a magla pra sigi days simu e na denote tawrani aduga date 8 temperate date 8 aroibagi word si b na lai adudi aigisi kari pattern tare ahanbagi line da first quadrant da leirisi a ni mathangi da leirisi na b ni mathangi da leirisi na a ni mathangi sina b ni ko sine rhyme scheme has I hope I made the meaning of rhyme scheme clear and you can appreciate the meaning of rhyme scheme. I'm not here much worried about the definition of the rhyme scheme definition do worried oide magi context to maze rhyme scheme se karino haibase sini aina khanganingi se aduna rhyme scheme ai sareng sigi amuk meaning se hayeng loisandoini aduna waganu ko sareng sigi hayeng loisandoini aduga ai shortcut method su yam pamjade aduna ni aina matam launa tawribase and I'm trying my best to speak in English and then in Manipuri da yam ngangi bese kaigino haraga ai target audience se my target audience is the students who cannot reach out to the elite places for tuition and who cannot afford online classes due to certain circumstances adugini aduga sidazu next quatrain haibadi 4 lines ni next quatrain da so amok akhogi ram scheme ama leibi ai sida ina explain tawgrabani na ai khara thuna haige shines declines nes immed dimmed untrimmed ab fed owest shared growest ab and aa cc anova piyo haragade so ram scheme sumana nang deduce tawba haire mayam hairamani khali haidragadi amuk videos amu hanna amuk chatlaga amuk yengbigani aduga you can again try and you can also just google it google tawraga yenga kanda so layman's ki language to phangani layman ki language da adugi maramda su phangani aduga notes se da ram scheme yaubra hana ai thibani notes du yaude aduga junior class da yaugiba leiragadi akhogi board na bibiba explanation and notes se soidana pabiyu so the first for the first quatrain 4 lines ki words sigi quatrain sigi meaning se in high grade asigatang tawge ngasigidi hayeng amok atopa sing sigi meaning take technical oibo word sing do and explain thawgrabani na Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease had all too short a date. Sisigi ꯅꯪꯁꯦ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔꯤꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯒꯦꯀꯣ ꯅꯪꯁꯦ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯁꯝꯃꯔꯒꯤ ꯅꯨꯃꯤꯠꯁꯤꯒ ꯆꯥꯡꯗꯝꯅꯁꯤꯔꯅꯦ ꯆꯥꯡꯗꯝꯅꯔꯨꯔꯒꯁꯨ ꯐꯖꯕꯗꯤ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯍꯦꯜꯂꯤ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯍꯦꯟꯅ ꯇꯦꯝꯄꯔꯦꯠ ꯑꯣꯏ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯍꯦꯟꯅ ꯃꯥꯏꯜഡ് ꯑꯣꯏ ꯌꯨ ꯑꯥꯔ ꯕ꯭ꯌꯨꯇꯤꯐꯨꯜ ꯌꯨ ꯑꯥꯔ ꯃꯣꯔ ꯕ꯭ꯌꯨꯇꯤꯐꯨꯜ ꯗꯦꯟ ꯑ ꯁꯝꯃꯔꯁ ꯗꯦ ꯏꯟ ꯏꯪꯂꯦꯟ why you are more beautiful than a summer's day in England karigino haiba matamda in summer's day, especially during the month of May, the young birds, the pretty birds are disturbed, and it disturbs the birds, so it disturbs my mind as well. And summers are very less, summers are very short. I'm sorry, that is common error it's a less summer is less that is absolutely not acceptable. Summer is short ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯁꯝꯃꯔꯁꯤ ꯇꯦꯜꯂꯤ ꯅꯠꯇ꯭ꯔꯥ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯨꯅ ꯁꯝꯃꯔꯁꯤ ꯇꯦꯜꯂꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯨꯅ ꯅꯪꯅ ꯍꯦꯟꯅ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ ꯄꯨꯟꯁꯤꯗ ꯁꯥꯡꯅ ꯂꯩ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯒꯨꯝꯕꯅꯤ as a friend I celebrate you more than the summer's day and I celebrate you more than that ꯑꯗꯨꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯅꯤ so if I write reference to context of this first quatrain I will write these lines are taken from these lines the stanza or these lines are taken from the poem Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day, written by William Shakespeare, who is a great English dramatist and a poet. His plays expresses or his plays touches on every possible human emotions like love, jealousy, patriotism, ambition, and they are relevant even today. Likewise, in these lines, which is a quatrain from this poem, this sonnet also touches the human emotions of love and ambition towards friendship. And in these lines, the poet has described about his friend, and he compared his friends with a summer's day, and he found summer less beautiful as compared to his friends. And then you can go away and then you can go ahead adu loraga nang piramiba marks tugi matung inna you can write it, and then nang last ki line du nang conclude tawramdai du you can write that in this quatrain like all the sonnets of William Shakespeare, he follows a rhyme scheme of this and this, the A B, and this is a beautiful poem and it is relevant even today. Adumana conclude tawba yai ko duduga aina sigi se aina haizari sini ahanbagi video dasu aina sigi poem sigi aina lauzariba notes si akoigi Morang Advanced College da huji HOD oriba sir ke gi notes ni aduga if you want it you can take it aduga you can comment it in the box and we can give you also. And meanwhile I think this will help you. I give videos a 3 minutes so overshoot taure, and I'll try my best that tomorrow it's better than this and I'll complete the poem tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye. If you and I'm sorry, I have to mention